Kwame Adebayo came to Dublin for something small. Not money, not fame, not escape. He came for work, a construction contract, a clean job, a new start. Kwame had always been the type of man who stayed invisible. He didn't argue, he didn't fight, he didn't drink. He believed in one simple rule. If you stay quiet, the world leaves you alone. But Dublin was about to teach him something else. Sometimes, the world chooses you anyway. A normal day. It was late October, cold air, grey skies. The kind of day where people walked fast and didn't look at each other. Kwame finished his shift early and walked through the city centre. He stopped near a small corner store to buy a bottle of water. That's when he saw it. A wallet, black leather, lying on the sidewalk. Kwame looked around. No one was watching. He picked it up. Inside was a driver's license, credit cards, and a folded business card. The name on the license was Declan O'Rourke. Kwame frowned. The wallet looked expensive. Kwame didn't want trouble, but he also didn't want to be the man who ignored it. So he did what he thought was the right thing. He walked toward the nearest police station. The wrong kind of good deed. The station was small, 2 officers at the desk. Kwame stepped forward. "Hello," he said politely. "I found this wallet outside a shop." He placed it on the counter. The officers glanced at it. Then one officer's face changed. Not surprised, not relieved, but tense. Like Kwame had just placed a weapon on the desk. The officer picked up the wallet slowly. He looked at the name. Then he looked at Kwame. Then he looked back at the wallet. He asked, "Where did you get this?" Kwame explained. The officer didn't nod, didn't smile. He just said, "Stay here." Kwame's stomach tightened. The officer walked into the back room. Kwame waited. 30 seconds, then 2 minutes, then 5. And suddenly, 4 officers came out. One of them was holding handcuffs. Kwame blinked. "What's going on?" One officer said, "Kwame Adebayo, you're under arrest." Kwame froze. "For what?" The officer replied, "For the murder of Declan O'Rourke." Kwame's heart stopped. The name that changed everything. Kwame didn't even know who Declan O'Rourke was. He didn't know he was already dead. He didn't know his body had been found that morning. He didn't know Declan was involved with something dangerous. All Kwame knew was this: he was holding the wallet of a murdered man. And now, in the police station, he was the easiest person to blame. The evidence trap. Kwame was taken into interrogation. They asked him questions fast. "Where were you last night? Who do you know in Dublin? Do you know Declan? Why did you take his wallet?" Kwame kept repeating, "I found it. I brought it here." But the police didn't hear his words. They heard his accent. They saw his skin. They saw a man with no family in Ireland, no lawyer ready, no connections. And then the detective dropped the first bomb. "Your fingerprints are on the wallet." Kwame said, "Of course, I picked it up." The detective smiled coldly. "And Declan's blood was found inside your coat pocket." Kwame's face went blank. "What?" The detective pushed a photo across the table. A forensic photo, a small blood stain. Kwame whispered, "That's not possible." But the detective said, "It is possible, because it's real." The case builds too fast. Within 48 hours, the news spread. A headline appeared: "Foreign worker arrested in Dublin murder case." Kwame's boss stopped answering calls. His landlord wanted him gone. His co-workers avoided his name. In court, the prosecutor painted a clean story. Kwame robbed Declan. Kwame killed him. Kwame took the wallet. Kwame tried to return it to police to look innocent. It sounded logical. It sounded neat. It sounded like a movie. And the worst part? The jury believed it. Because the truth was messy. And people hate messy truth. The trial. Kwame's court-appointed lawyer was weak, tired, barely tried. Kwame begged him, "Please check CCTV near the shop." The lawyer said, "They already did." Kwame asked, "Can we check phone data?" The lawyer sighed, "It won't matter." Kwame realized something terrifying. He wasn't fighting the case. He was surviving it. And survival isn't the same as justice. The sentence. Kwame was convicted. 20 years. When the judge read the sentence, Kwame's knees almost gave out. 20 years for picking up a wallet. Prison. Prison changed Kwame, not because he became violent, but because he became empty. He stopped smiling, stopped dreaming, stopped believing in fairness. In prison, men asked him, "What did you do?" Kwame always said, "Nothing." They laughed. Everyone said nothing. The one detail nobody noticed. 3 years into his sentence, a new detective joined the Dublin unit. Her name was Siobhan Keane. She wasn't a hero, but she was obsessive. And she hated one thing: cases that felt too perfect. She reopened Declan O'Rourke's file, and one detail bothered her. Declan's wallet was found clean. No mud, no damage, no signs it had been dropped in the street. It looked placed, like someone wanted it to be found. And she noticed something else. Declan's phone was never recovered, only the wallet. Siobhan tracked Declan's last calls. One number appeared repeatedly: a private security company. Not police, not government. A company called Holloway Protection. She requested records. They refused. So she dug deeper, and she discovered something strange. Declan O'Rourke wasn't just a businessman. He was a whistleblower. He had evidence of corruption, and he was planning to leak it. Siobhan realized the truth slowly. Declan was killed, and someone needed a fast scapegoat. Someone outside the system, someone nobody would defend. So they planted Declan's wallet in the street, near a place where a quiet foreign worker would pass. And when Kwame did the honest thing and returned it, the trap closed perfectly. Siobhan found CCTV, not the official CCTV, a small private camera from a shop across the street. And the footage showed something terrifying. A man in a dark hoodie, walking toward the sidewalk, placing the wallet, then stepping back, watching, waiting, until Kwame picked it up. Kwame was released after 4 years. The conviction was overturned. He walked out of prison with nothing. No job, no money, no life. But at least he was free. Siobhan met him outside. She handed him a plastic bag with his belongings. Kwame opened it. Inside was his old coat, his wallet, and his phone. Kwame stared at the phone. "Why do I still have this?" he asked. Siobhan's face tightened. "Because we found something." Kwame looked at her. She said, "Your phone was used while you were in prison." Kwame blinked. "What?" Siobhan showed him the records. Calls, messages, bank access, during the exact years he was locked up. Kwame's hands shook. He whispered, "How is that possible?" Siobhan looked away and said, "Because the person who framed you needed your identity." Kwame stared at the phone. And then he realized the final truth. He wasn't framed just to close a murder case. He was framed so someone could live as him.